Hello, boys and girls. I'm Professor Hans von Puppet. Welcome back to the Roaming Startup Show. Today, Zach and Bob will sit down with Aaron and Sam, who are launching a Kickstarter project called Dice Rings. Bob seems especially focused on the rock, scissors, paper, lizard, spark ring. I always forget that spark vaporizes rock. Let's watch.
Thank you, Professor, and welcome everybody back to another episode of the Roaming Startup Show. Today we have Aaron and Sam to talk to us about dice rings. Thank you for coming on, Aaron and Sam.
Happy to be here. Pleasure.
And as always, I have Bob with me. Bob, how's it going?
Great, Zach. Really been very excited, looking forward to this particular conversation with Aaron and Sam. They are crushing it on Kickstarter, and I just can't wait to chat with them a little bit about how they got here.
Well, Aaron, go ahead and start us, or Sam, either one. Tell us a little bit about dice rings.
Well, dice rings are dice of many sizes wrapped around a ring. I actually have one of our new colored prototypes here. Let's see if I can get the 20 showing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Still blur. It's still blurred.
But yeah, basically what dice rings are is that it's basically a spinner ring. For those who don't understand what a spinner ring is, it's a double-banded ring that has a free-moving center that allows one to, to spin. And basically what we've done is we've placed numbers organized around to give a random number generation on the ring. And that's all you have to do is a quick little spin, and it goes right, and you get your dice roll. And we've made this from a D4 to a D20.
Though we probably will be adding 24 and 30-sided die by the end of the project.
I think for our viewers, this is a great opportunity. Let's go ahead and take a look at their video. It's a great job of kind of defining the product.
Hi Kickstarter, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Sam.
And we're the co-founders of
Crit Success.
We'd like to introduce you to our new product, dice rings.
What happens when you combine a die and a spinner ring together? You get a dice ring.
Dice rings can be used in place of the dice in any dice-based game. Numbers are laser etched around the spinning band in a way that produces fair, random rolls. To roll the die, you spin the ring. See the arrows? They indicate the number you rolled. 12.
So, why are dice rings better than dice?
No more dice rolling off the table.
An ogre appears before you. Roll initiative.
No more dice knocking your game pieces around.
Rawr, I'm gonna eat you. Okay. Let's see.
What was that? No more dice-related injuries.
Has anyone seen my D4?
Yeah, got it.
It's a 2.
No more pets stealing your dice. Hey! Now you can sit back, relax while gaming with your friends.
So as you enter the swamp, I need all of you guys to make a fortitude save.
16.
15. And here's Jesse to tell you about some of the special features of dice rings.
Dice rings are made of stainless steel, so they're super durable. And the rings are rust-proof. Dice rings are extremely portable. Dice rings are hypoallergenic. They even protect you from other people's allergies. Do you have trouble making decisions? Well, let the ring make the decisions for you. Should I biggie size this? Yes! How many kids should I have? 9. Hear that, honey? How many swords should I try to juggle? 13. Do eyes grow back? Should I become a pirate? Monkey or parrot? Crit fail. Should you buy this ring? Crit success. Finally, the rings are super stylish.
How many dice rings should you buy?
We'll leave that role to you.
My processes.
What really made you guys decide to do dice rings? What was it that that made you take this into concept?
We love telling the story because we've said it so many times. And the fact that basically it was me and Aaron were driving around, and pretty much right outside of my house, I started playing with my a metal spinner ring that I've been wearing since at least 5 years. And he thought it would be a great idea. What happens if we put numbers around them so that when you spun it, you got a D percentile.
Or a dice roll.
Yeah, or a dice roll. And, I personally just thought this was an off-the-hip kind of idea, as I've, had a lot of friends who are like this. And, a couple months later, there's a fully rendered model of the dice ring spinning on the computer. So
13 of our rings I had rendered out as kind of like a pitch to Sam, check this out. I want to do something with it, but I don't know how.
You got a great idea that happens upon you as you're driving. How did you end up getting those machined and moving from concept to something physical that you're right now demoing to us?
It was incredibly hard to find a prototype, to find a manufacturer to prototype the rings. We started searching in the U.S., and we actually got the cold shoulder from all the manufacturers we could run into. We ended up going to Alibaba, which hooked us up with a China manufacturer. Through loads of experience later, it turns out like most of American jewelry is made in China as well and sold through U.S. companies. So we're kind of like right alongside all the other all the other stores out there right now.
How many have you produced? I mean, do you have a... Needless to say, when I look at how your Kickstarter campaign's doing, it is probably exceeding your expectations. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
very much so,
that is fair.
How are you going to handle this? How are you going to handle this surge of need?
It's actually no issue at all for the manufacturer to produce large quantities. The only trouble right now is we want to get the rings started manufacturing before the end of the project. And we don't know what the people want exactly until the end of the project.
I was going to say, your rewards kind of held you from doing much of anything until all the way at the end when you get the information from everybody, right?
Well, we wanted it to be flexible so that we can let people choose what they wanted, and that would actually tell us what quantities should we be manufacturing these rings in. We don't want to get 1,000 of something nobody wants. So I believe through a series of surveys and polls, I'll be able to figure out a rough distribution of styles, colors, and sizes that people want, and I'll be able to put together an order that'll blanket everything that Kickstarter would want.
So you came up with a goal of 23,000, and you're currently sitting at 150,000. Are you surprised by that?
Me, yes. Him, no. When we were first talking about this project, I had actually worked with the Kickstarter before, and our project barely made it past the $6,000 mark. And so, I was a little hesitant because it was a really rough ride in my previous project. And then with this, we're trying to get him to cut all the fat, so we had the very minimum, because I wasn't expecting us to reach it that quickly. And then, 2 days later, I was eating my own word.
Yeah, but before we even started the project, I was like, Sam, I think this is going to break 100K. And here we are. 1.5 times that.
Was there drinking going on during that conversation?
The holy crap, we did it conversation. We did have a toast.
I bet.
We got out goblets.
I bet.
We had some wine, and I don't drink, so I had some sparkling cider. But
But I toasted with his wife and the fact that I brought over some champagne when we got our goal. I brought over some sparkling cider for him, but yeah.
You said you had a previous project that you did that met its goal. Did that help you in this project? Did you learn stuff from that project that helped you in this one?
It helped me in the fact that I was sort of the business manager in my previous project. To tell you the truth, within Kickstarter, not particularly. You know, I knew of it's basically from using it previously. I knew about Kickstarter. I knew it was a great way to fund projects. I actually found it very surprising when I first told him that he had never heard of the program before.
I had never known Kickstarter existed until I was like, Sam, how am I going to get these out into the real world? And he's like, well, have you tried this? Like, no, what is this magical place?
But really, you know, the fact that within our first 2 days are hitting our goal in 42 hours, from really no publicity whatsoever, from just word of mouth, I was truly surprised. Because I remember my previous partner, you know, slaving away, talking with people, trying to get our word out there, and this one just boomed within itself. I actually remember the project coming out, and I, that night, had made a Kickstarter page for our company. And I suppose that same day we had gotten some emails about people wanting to host our project, you know, be publicitors for us. And I got these phone calls like, you hired someone? Da, da, da. I'm like, no, why? Because our project just boomed, and we have all these new pages.
We were scared that we had invested some untold percentage into one of these marketing people. Turns out it was just people spreading it on Facebook and Reddit and
Twitter.
Yeah, it just got passed on by word of mouth.
Did you come to this with a network in place? Did you guys do some before launch network stuff?
No,
not
at all. We just set it live.
Not really. Actually, I would find it really funny was last week one of my friends emailed me saying, you know, oh my God, I didn't know that you were the one connected to this. Why didn't you tell me?
I thought I missed it.
He saw the video and said, oh my God, I know that guy.
It's like, how have I not heard about this before?
Is this going to be a full-time gig? I mean, that's a substantial amount of funding. Are you guys going to take it to a different level now, or?
From the beginning, it was planned to be just the first product of our company, Crit Success, which the name of the company is a different story entirely, but we have a couple products in mind already, ready to roll out as soon as we can get them prototyped and ready to go.
Well,
so you'll see more of us on Kickstarter. Especially after this project's done within the new year. Once we get new prototypes, a new corny little video will be up on Kickstarter. That's pitching our ideas. So
that's our signature.
Anybody who's buying your product understands the term Crit Success, but tell us a little bit about your company. What are you guys looking to do beyond dice rings?
Yeah, no, we're starting off with, you know, very gamer specific products. You know, especially because I, you know, graduated as a game designer from Savannah College of Art Design, and I specialized in tabletop games. And unfortunately, with this world of all PC and online games, I'm not great with computers. I sort of have that gremlin touch thing. Whatever I touch just sort of crumbles and breaks down. I play a lot of tabletop games. I create systems. And so, you know, that will be stuff later down the line. You will see more gaming-related, unique gamer-related products, and maybe later down the line, books, games.
We have potentially a system that we'd like to sponsor and get off the ground, maybe.
And also, you know, we've taken on other projects as well outside of game work, more on the technical side. I unfortunately can't talk too much about it, but it will be released in, I think March of next year. We actually already have one magazine interested in doing a review on us.
It has a microcontroller in it, so it's a bit more complicated than the spinning rings.
And it uses lasers.
There you go. Everything you need to have a great evening at home.
Yes. And I know, and we're always looking for new venues to go down. I've actually talked with someone about having maybe Crit Success Mead,
and of course sparkling cider.
Yes, sparkling ciders.
I missed out on all the cool tavern mashes.
But really, the sky's the limit with us. Right now we're a two-man team, 2.5, 2 men and a woman team.
My wife helps me.
I was going to say, if you have 2 men and 1 woman, that means you have 1 woman and 1 woman probably running the company.
So we got 4 votes amongst us. She gets 2 and we get 1 each.
Exactly.
We've actually done an interview with another tabletop-based game that was successfully funded. Did you find the community on Kickstarter? Because he mentioned that you got a lot of backing from people he's never met and really hasn't really talked to. Did you find that on Kickstarter as well? Did you see that same type of community base from the tabletop world?
Yeah, that's one of the things that really made me think that we were going to break 100. I was like, tabletop gaming stuff in general, it just goes over really well on Kickstarter. So if we've got a good idea, fingers crossed.
Guys, on the rings that you're producing right now, talk a little bit about the manufacturing exactly. What is involved in that? I know there's 2 different kinds. Talk about the differences between them.
A single spinner ring has been around for a while. Technically so is a double spinner ring, but we did something special with the double spinner ring. We put a ridge in the middle of it. That way each outer spinning band has its own separate groove. And from a random number generator standpoint, the 2 bands can't affect each other's outcome. So
it gives a much clearer spin on the roll, and which allows it. Basically, one of our big issues that we have, and one thing we're always really trying to focus on, is not how much the ring costs us, but more about how well the ring works. Because because we want this to be a clean, randomized number generator, we really try to focus on the spinning, making it so it spins cleanly.
We've turned down 2 manufacturers that have given us better prices already because the quality of their product just wasn't good enough. And we're on our 3rd manufacturer now, and what they've produced for us has been fantastic so far.
You've got 1 ring that was, I think, part of your stretch goals, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. And, all I can say is bazinga.
Yes.
That's great.
It's perfect.
We just filmed our 2nd video today, and it's not up, but it'll be up probably within the next half hour as soon as we're off the chat here.
Once I saw that, I thought that's a perfect stretch goal. Give us some thoughts on how you came up with your stretch goal ideas.
Some of the newer ones were actually because of the comments and discussions we've had on Kickstarter. Others were on the basis where we always wanted to have different sets of colors and giving some something unique to the spinner ring community, in which there aren't very many colored rings that spinner rings. Most are usually made out of silver or other easily malleable metals. Where we're using a steel and
steel and coatings.
Steel and coatings.
It's a process called PVD coating, pressurized vapor deposition. It's still steel, basically, but by using gases with different things in it, they'll coat the steel, not just like a painting, but it'll actually change the surface of the steel to be this different color.
Did you guys have any background in the design or the development of these rings? It seems like you know quite a bit about the process and how to develop the rings.
I only know as much as I do because I had to learn. Well, when I first started this idea, I knew nothing about spinner rings, just that I've seen them before and they worked. And now I know a great deal more about how they're actually made.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. And we talk a lot with the manufacturer. We constantly try to learn. And really, behind me, I have I went to a fine arts school, so I learned all aspects. So, but really, I don't think either one of us really had a background in it. I know my cousins have done jewelry work before, but I really didn't contact them or spoken with them too much. This, is really pretty much unique to us. We ran with it and just, we stumbled a little bit, but luckily it's been a pretty clear path.
What did you guys do as a day job before you got into the dice ring business?
I was and still am a student. I've dabbled in a lot of different subjects. I've done computer science, then electrical engineering, and then mechanical, and then back to computer science. I'm currently computer science. I know a lot of enough physics stuff to get me by, where I can do quite a lot without having a full degree.
I did game design up in Boston before I started doing this. I actually left my job this summer because it really wasn't working too well for me. And outside of really the dice rings, I don't have much else.
So obviously, you guys are younger, and our generation tends to lean towards the video gaming and not the tabletop gaming. What got you into tabletop gaming and kind of kept away from the digital world?
I wouldn't say kept away from.
For the amount of time I play on Skyrim, I'm on the digital. I did not get into tabletop gaming until really late in life, until I went to college. I went to a very small high school in the fact of only a graduating class of 35 students. None of those students were D&D players. So when I went off to college, I joined a little, the gaming club and, fell in love with tabletop games. And then when I went to my second college, they had even a better gaming club, and I just stuck with that. And I had a lot of friends who were game designers as well, who just opened me with open arms and took me into this little dark world.
Everybody in a cult wants you in.
Yes. And I pretty much I ran with it, and then I spent the last two and a half years up in Boston doing digital game work, and I wasn't enjoying myself. I thought, I had a game design degree, and I thought I'd go into, computer game graphics or computer games. It just didn't work. It wasn't a good fit for me. So when, Aaron was this summer, showed me the product, I saw the opportunity, and I just jumped on board.
Yeah, after seeing the picture, Sam's like, how can I help?
It seems like a marriage made in purgatory. I mean, you guys are perfect for each other because Sam brought that information about Kickstarter in.
Yeah, he helped me out in a ton of ways. And I know nothing about how a business should work. Just that whole side of things. Sam's been pretty much teaching me as we go. It's no, we want to be an LLC. We have to set up a business bank account. You can't just use your regular bank account. All these things I wouldn't have known that. For me, I got into Dungeons and Dragons probably after high school and college as well. A group of my roommates actually had a game going, so I started playing. I was like, this is so much fun. And I was always either the stupid character or just the wild run into danger character, and I loved it.
It lets you do something outside the norm.
I wouldn't say that. But it let me experience it in a different venue.
After this experience, Aaron, are you changing your major from computer science to business?
I'll probably be adding the major, just because I should know what I'm doing. I still have a good mind for computer science, and I love programming. Oh, and there's always a spinner ring app.
And also, I just remembered, before we get too far away, one reason we became really good friends was in the fact that I was running a game, and he made a character exactly like how I would.
Yeah.
The fact that I was basically, helping him through, I'm like, oh my God, you're finding the exact same loopholes I find every single game. I hate you for this fact because I have to run it, but you are now my friend, you are my brother.
Fellow rule lawyer.
Yes.
I wanted to show you, this is the 4 color options. The webcam's terribly blurry, but you can see the colors shine through.
I like the blue. The blue looks great.
Yeah, that's probably going to be my favorite. Although classic black, it's a tough choice for me.
Yeah. So you mentioned, though, that it's not paint, so it's not going to come off.
No, In fact, I've tried to scratch the black one, and you can see scratch marks on it, but it doesn't show steel through. It's just like slightly lighter black scratch marks.
So yeah, so through basic wear and tear, you're not going to get like paint chips or any long. It's not going to peel off. It's it will last a very long period of time. We haven't had it for very long, so we don't know about fading issues. But even then, it shouldn't fade. It shouldn't change with color. You're not going to have the steel start coming through.
It's stainless steel, so it's not going to corrode and rust over time.
You guys have some amazing backer numbers. I was looking, and you have 3 backers at the $800 level. Are those family?
No. I think those were high pledges just waiting for something better to come along, because those 3 backers were there from the first night that pledge showed up.
Yeah, and the only person of my family and our families who have backed is my dad, and he only got it for the 130 mark. So this isn't really too much of our family, and it's we don't have 3,000 or 4,000 friends. How much I would like to have that many.
You do now.
Yes, we do now. And I actually remember just talking with Aaron in the car, saying, I can't wait for the first time I meet a random stranger wearing our rings. Right? We're going to have an angel. Hopefully, we'll be having a laser etched logo on the inside of the ring, and get them to take off to make sure that it's our ring.
One of the stretch goals you got to do, guys, is a Google Hangout for 10 people, and you run a game using dice rings.
Technically, that is one of our. It's not that one. That is one of our. Our stretch or one of our rewards. It's I think the $5,000 one. We'll travel anywhere within the East Coast, and we'll host a game for you with all the rings needed for.
Well, it's not. We'll travel. If they can make it to Washington D.C., we'll put them up for a whole weekend in a suite in a really nice hotel. We'll cover food, snacks, drinks, Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and all the rings.
Oh yeah, and each person they're welcome to come themselves and bring up to 3 friends, and each person they bring will get the Game Master reward, 10 ring.
If you guys had any advice to somebody who's just joining the Kickstarter community, has a project or a concept, what would your advice be to them?
Just do it. Really, Kickstarter is really easy to use. From the fact that they allow you to have personal accounts. You don't need to have started an LLC. You can be, average Joe with somewhat decent amount of credits or a bank account.
Or an idea that looks
Or an idea that works. Post a couple pictures and let it run. I actually have a friend up in Boston who basically does text adventure, basic text adventures on his computer, and he raised $37,000 for just a couple quick shots of ideas, a couple hand-drawn photos, and people loved some of his ideas and backed him. Really, you never know what's going to succeed. Put it up there and let the public have a chance to love it as well. Yeah.
Well, for me, I would recommend trying to make your video funny. We had a pretty corny video, and we were happy with it. We liked it a lot, and it turns out, despite its very low budget, we have this tiny handheld camera that we filmed everything with. Yeah, it has one button, record, and it worked out great.
Question, because the video was very good, guys. You guys did a great job. Was the dice blowing the minis off the table? I know it was planned, but was the plan to do that much destruction?
Okay, the funny thing was that I think that was my first throw. I think Aaron was the original one throwing the dice, and he maybe got 1 or 2, and I'm like, no, you're not throwing it hard enough. Okay, roll. Just crash right through, and I'm like, perfect.
I'm surprised you didn't take off part of the map in that toss.
I could tell there was a bit of surprise on your face there, Aaron.
I failed like 100 times. Just kept missing, and Sam comes along and says, let me try. And we just switched lines, and he's like, kapow!
Talk to us a little bit about how our audience can find you. Where do you want them to, besides the Kickstarter campaign, this is your shameless plug moment.
You should check us out. Right now, our website is linked to Kickstarter. So if you go to critsuccess.com, it'll take you, after our Kickstarter project's done, it will take you to our website. But right now, it's taking you right to our Kickstarter. You can also go to dicerings.com. We also have Crit Success on Facebook. We have
barring social media,
at Dice Rings on Twitter, and also we will be going to PAX East. We will be having a booth at PAX East. So yeah, in March.
We'd love to be in as many gaming conventions as we can, especially this first year. Barring social media. If you're looking for awesome gaming products, just think Crit Success.
Great tagline, Aaron. Well done, man. We want to thank you very much for being on the show. We really had a great time chatting with you guys and want to wish you the best of success. I'm a backer and look forward to seeing a great product.
Well, thanks for joining us, boys and girls. Wasn't that a wonderful conversation with Aaron and Sam? Tune in next week as we learn more about how to fund your dreams with crowdfunding. Till then, remember, keep dreaming and don't get tied down with any strings.